Hello fellow simmers, it's Samuel Beeman of BLS here. Thank you all for joining this video. This piece of work has been created by our very own staff members Will Braddock and Lewis Brown, who have put a momentous amount of effort into what I'm about to show you today. This is something us as a team have wanted to do for a long time. And so, without further ado, it is my honour and privilege to reveal our latest enhancement pack for Train Simulator Classic. Give a big round of applause for the Class 20.
Like a Hellcat.
So here we are with the Romic Class 20 20007 Enhancement Pack. This was announced on the 31st of October by Will Braddock and Lewis Brown during a Q&A live stream on Halloween, and it has been in production for a good few months. I also just want to put it out there that a special thanks goes to Matthew Wilson of Vulcan Productions, who supported and aided this product with a headlight glare. So we had a little bit of issues where the headlight glare wouldn't be working on the child object headlight that comes with the pack. However, thanks to him, we have now got that sorted and it now works. So thank you ever so much, Matt, and thank you for your support on this pack. So this is a very special pack indeed, as it is the basis of a new series of mini enhancement packs coming out for the Class 20. So this may be the first, but it certainly isn't the last. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off from the left hand side and work our way down to the right. The left hand side is the 2017 to 2018 version of 20007, and to the far right is the current present day version of 20007. The 2025 condition 1, in other words. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at the liveries included. So the first one is 20007 in its 2017/2018 guise. As you can see here, it's looking very, very smart indeed. So this has brand new upscaled 4K texturing, which I think you can all agree transforms the Just Trains Class 20, and it just makes it look a hell lot better. It brings it up to modern standards, and bear in mind this model wasn't actually bad anyway. It just shows, you know, even just a bit of texturing, it really does look the part still, even to this day and age. So the Loco itself includes a variety of custom decals. So we've got 20007 written on the cab side there, and we have the Class 20 data panel, all accurate to 20007. So both Will and Lewis have put a lot of research into this and tried at best to create all of the represented 20007 livery variations for the pack. We have details such as reskin buffers with the little hole included as well. So you've got the hole, the grease hole, all present. I mean, even though that isn't technically modelled on the Just Trains Class 20, it almost looks 3D. It almost looks like it is a part of the buffer model, but it isn't. So it's very, very well done and well implemented. We have all kinds of other bits and pieces down here. We have obviously the buffer beam, and obviously the main thing as well is this high intensity headlight, and this looks absolutely fantastic. So this is a brand new custom made headlight by Will. He's done an absolutely fantastic job on that. You can see all the scrapes and scratches and grazes on that headlight, and he's even gone down to the detail of the screws here. So you see that screw is obviously really tight. Well, this one is a lot more undone, so you've got like almost like as if one of them's a little bit more undone than the other one, which, again, it's just a nice detail that he's added there, and it just makes it look really smart, doesn't it? The headlight texture itself is actually from the Class 33 enhancement pack. It was a texture that I took purposely for the Class 33 EP, and it was a lens texture from D6515. But research suggests that the 20007 headlight has pretty much exactly the same lens, so that texture is pretty perfect for the high intensity light, especially on this end. However, if we head over to the nose end, you'll see that the texture on the headlight is different. So both headlights textures are different, and the style of headlight is different as well. So you'll see that the screws are actually in a different place on this headlight, and also you've got the hinges underneath from where they unscrew it and basically lower it down instead of opening it sideways. So if we head over to the main headlight on the cab end, you'll see that the hinges is on the side of the headlight where they open it to the side when they need to open it, and obviously at this one they open it in the downwards direction. So again, two slightly different headlights, and that's all been done by the brilliant research that Will and Ludge have put into this. So obviously we're on, as we're looking at the nose end right now, you'll see that technically speaking, this the center disc on 20007 on the nose end should be completely flush. There should not be this circle behind the headlight, but unfortunately, due to model limitations, we can't get rid of that. So what Will has done instead is filled in basically the hole for where the disc was or where the light is. So it's basically filled it in so it looks flush, sort of. But it's the best we can do with the model limitations, and to be fair, I think he's done an absolutely fantastic job on that. We also have custom danger overhead warning live stickers, or live warning flashes, and yeah, they're done very, very nicely as well, as is the cant rail. There is, you can see a little bit of a bleed over there, but to be fair, I would imagine that is just an issue with the skin itself. Like, that is just the JT20's texture sheet for you. It is very, very complicated to reskin a Class 20 within Train Simulator. So to even have this, it's brilliant. It's just brilliant. We have obviously the bogie frames here. Now, the interesting thing about these is we've got new additions to the frames. So originally, the Just Trains Class 20 on the bogie frames, it didn't come with any cab steps. So you see here, Will has made some brand new cab steps. So the obviously now the driver can access the cab as he should be able to. But it's interesting that Just Trains missed this detail out. It's why they missed it out, I do not know, but nevertheless, it is now there thanks to Will on the bogie frames there. So he's done a good job on that. So well done to Will on making that object and getting it stuck on there. We also have the steps on the corner of the 20 as well, near the buffer beam, which have also been added by Will as well. This was inspired by Matt Wilson's 20118 and 2132 reskin pack, which was done in a collaboration with James Hoyle. You may know this from a few years ago now, that he actually also made some cab steps for that particular reskin. So this isn't the first time that this has been done. This is actually the second time that it's been done. Obviously, it's the second generation of cab steps modelled for the 20. And it's nice to see it being done. It's an addition that not many people pick up, and you wouldn't really notice it unless you were, you had that eye for detail, and that's. You're probably all going to sit there now and think, oh, damn it, you've ruined the JT Class 20 for me now. I'm always going to look at that now and see that it doesn't have cab steps on the bogies. But yeah, sorry guys. But yeah, so at least it's there now and present and correct. We can see here that he's That we've got all of the piping sort of painted with this white texture, which just gives it a nicer look, doesn't it? It makes it look nice. We've got obviously full high definition texturing on the frames of the bogies themselves, with bits of dirt and grime here and there. Although these are clean bogies, and considerably more clean than some of the other bogie frames that we're going to be having a look at in a minute. So yeah, it's this is sort of the cleaner version, as it were. We also have the warning stickers on the battery boxes. So we've got a danger battery acid sign and a caution a risk of explosion sign, which is as it should be on the 2017-2018 version of 20007. So moving around, yeah, we've got the buffers. Buffers are the same textures on each side, which is fair enough. I like those buffer textures anyway. They're very nice. Yeah, we have the stickers on the fuel tank this side as well. Another thing we do have, which has been modelled on this 20, is we have Smith's Speedo cables. So we have the speedometers added on the bogies of the 20 as well, which just again adds to the detail. It's a detail that was missed on the original Just Trains Class 20, and now it's been added, and yeah, it just gives the model a bit more of a realistic look. So yeah, so that is the 2017 to 2018 version of 20007. So we're going to move over to the right and we head to the 2019 version. So this is an interesting one and probably my most favourite version of 20007 within this pack. The reason I like it so much is because I just love the faded paint. So as you can see with this one, the green is a lot more faded, and as is the yellow panel. So the livery itself is basically just green. I wouldn't really call it British Railways green or BR green, small yellow warning panel, because the small yellow warning panel on 20007 is actually different to the standard Class 20 half yellow panel livery. So originally on the 20s, the yellow panel would usually go further up, so it would go up past the tail lights. But obviously this doesn't, and it's a lot smaller and thinner than your bog standard BR green half yellow panel livery. Also, the yellow panel is a bit more squared, if I'm right in thinking, than the standard BR green livery. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but it's a very unique livery, 20007, and it's a one-off, really, I suppose you could say. But you would notice with the 2019 version, the buffer textures are different. So we've got some more, you've got rust coming through on the buffers there. Look, you can see it's a lot more worn out. So it's interesting how much, weathering and, how faded 20007 got within the first, couple of years with it being in active service. So you can tell that the loco was stored outside for a fair amount of time, because and this is what happened to it. It got quite faded, and obviously with the bogies here as well, this is basically a dirty version of that bogie set. But you can just see, the scrapes and scratches, the griminess on it. It just looks absolutely fantastic. It has transformed this model. It really has. The guys have, bear in mind I had no clue about this. This was a secret project. So when I say secret project, like as in very, very secret, as in Will and Lewis didn't tell anybody about this, and they didn't tell anyone that they were working on it until it was about to be released. So to every staff member to then load this up and have a look at it for the first time, it was jaw dropping. It was absolutely jaw dropping for us, and it was something I wasn't expecting, and it is just absolutely fantastic. It doesn't cease to amaze me. The amount of work Will and Ludge have put into this. You can see here, it's really, look at all this dirt and grime on the battery box. This is top quality, 4K texturing. It's just looking incredibly smart. And just, it just looks great. You've even got it on, on this, on the brake blocks and things like that. It's just absolutely fantastic. Yeah, you can see obviously that end as well. The faded end. To oppose to the, if we compare it to the 2018 version, you can really tell the difference between the two liveries. One of them's clean, one of them's faded, and it's been done incredibly well. It's, as I say, this is my favourite variant within the pack. We've even got bits and pieces on the actual body itself as well. Look, we've got scuff marks and bits of patchiness. And you can see on on the side here as well, on the cab side, you've got various scuff marks, and it just makes it look really smart. To be honest, it I don't know how to put it, but it really picks it out. It picks out the detail more, being the sort of faded version. So yeah, that's probably the one I'd mostly use personally, just because I really like the look of it. But yeah, anyway, so moving over to the 2020 version, I believe this is, which is basically a sort of jazzed up version of the 2019 version a little bit. So the buffers are a little bit better than what they were in 2019. And the yellow panel has been repainted, so we can see that it's been painted and sharpened up. And we also have the bogies have been redone as well. So we've now got yellow Timken caps now with the red line underneath, and you can tell it's been for tyre turning as well recently, because we've got white tyre marks on the tyres. So it's brilliant to see these little details being put on the 20. But you see, all these versions of the 20 have differences, and it's just little things that really do bring this product out, I think. So bear in mind, guys, this isn't going to be payware. This is going to be completely free. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? So this is a freeware pack, and for what you're getting for freeware, I think it is just it's just absolutely fantastic. We're really sort of pushing the boundaries now. With BLS have got to that point where we're starting to produce sort of mini enhancement packs or mini EPs for Train Simulator, and it's just brilliant. It really is. We've really stepped forward this year with this kind of content. It started with the West Coast 33s. We've now gone onto this, and then soon to be released will be the British Railways Green Class 33s, which will be our first involvement with a payware product over at Gold and Goldsmith Studios. So it's looking good for BLS. It's we've really took a step forward this year, and I'm very, very proud to everyone within the team, and everyone who's put the effort in to get to this point. It is really, really fantastic. So back to talking about 20007. This is 2020. So during this time, the 20 was operating with Lorem. So we have the Lorem UK Limited Rail Operations sticker on the side of the 20. So yeah, this is when it operated with Lorem. It also operated alongside 2205 as well in Lorem, which is interesting because obviously we don't actually have it at the minute. I mean, I suppose you could, renumber a JT one, but it won't be exactly correct. But interesting to say the least. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe someday we'll get it. But yeah, this is the Lorem version of 20007. You can see here again, there's some differences on the back here as well. We've got some sort of rust patches, some rust streaking going down. But there's so much things to see. This is something I've only just noticed. Every time I look at these 20s, I'm always noticing something different, and that's just really, really good. It just shows how much detail has been put into these reskins. So the buffers are different again. Yep, and that is the Lorem 20007 in its 2020 livery. So next up will be the 2021 condition. Now this is a really beaten up version of 007. So this was when it had its Lorem branding taken off, so you can see where the sticker was, which is again a nice touch. And you can see that they've tried to sort of patch up the paintwork here and there as well, from potentially maybe some cab rot, or they've certainly patched it up in areas. But it just looks fantastic. And I'm guessing, this is all done by photographs. Ludge and Will have, spent many hours going through all the photographs and references of 20007 in all of its livery variants, and actually, seen that and gone, let's make it. It needs to be done like this, and this is how we're going to do it. It just shows the amount of research and what goes into making this. But yeah, again, look, the bogies are looking a lot more dirty now. And yeah, we've got obviously dirty battery boxes and stuff as well. One of the things I actually didn't look on these other. Oh yeah, look on the 2020 version of the 007 is we've got a different coloured Smith Speedo. So that's a blue one. I'm just going to check out the 2019 version, and yeah, that is still black. But the interesting thing about the 2019 version is we have this, which is a tripcock. So again, this is another child object that had been placed on the Loco, and it's on this specific version of 20 as well. None of the other 20 versions of 007 within the pack has that tripcock, so this is the only variant that has it. So again, it's research that's been put in to add those details. Yeah, so back over to the 2021 version of 20007. Yeah, so we've got the blue Speedo again. Sort of, I just love it. You've got all of the sort of paint flakiness on there. It's just brilliant. So bear in mind, Lewis has actually done a majority of the texture work. So Will's done basically a majority of obviously the child objects, but the actual texturing side is mostly done by Lewis Brown. And yeah, you can see as well the difference in roofs as well. We've even got, weathering on the roof. I mean, good God, look at all that. It just looks grand. We've even got this sort of paint flaking texture on the roof as well, which again, it just adds to it. You can see all of the roofs are slightly different. It gradually gets more worn over the years, which that just shows the research that's been put in, and it's phenomenal, really. Obviously, I these guys obviously work for BLS. Obviously, I'm in BLS as well, so I'm not being like biased because I'm a part of BLS. I'm just saying it how it is, and the guys who have worked on this have done an absolutely fantastic job on this. And I'm not just being, biased because I work in BLS, but, I'm just saying from my point of view, looking at Lewis and Will's work, I'm amazed by it, and it gets better and better. So when we start driving this thing, you'll see even more. It just gets better and better as we look at it. So it's I'm so proud of them guys. Like literally, I'm so proud of them. I cannot stress. I seriously, I'm proud of them, and I think you can tell by my voice. Anyhow, we're coming over to the 2022 version now of 20007. So this was when it had its repaint. Now the interesting thing about the 2022 version is we can see a difference in the roof again. Okay, so you can see where this orange cant line is here. Okay, look what it was back in the day. So originally, the grey didn't come as far down as it does in the 2022 version. So you can see there that the livery has slightly been altered since its repaint, which again, it's research that has been put into this to find that out. Oh, there is a slight clipping of the overhead live warning flash there. Interesting. There's not any there. Is it on every single one? Oh, it is. Yeah, so there is a bit of Z fighting going on there. Hopefully that will be fixed by the release. I shall make sure I report that before it gets released. But yeah, so this is the 2022 version of obviously 20007. And yeah, we've got blue Speedo still. It's still attached. Obviously the bogies have been cleaned up, and we have different stickers on the fuel tank this time. So you can see, look, the battery acid sticker is still there. The danger of explosion sticker has been removed, and we can see where it was. And we also have a danger live electrical equipment sort of sticker on there. So again, there's a slight difference to the the 2022 version of the Loco. So now we head over to 2023, and this is an interesting one because this is, I believe, when it operated at Peak Forest. And that's why it has the white streaking down there. So obviously Peak Forest working on I think it's the stone trains or something like that. But you can see, the slight whiteness here and there from when it's been working on those trains. Yeah, again, it's a bit more worn on the bogies. We've got you see, this is interesting as well. The fuel tank's been changed on here as well. So we've got the left-hand side warning flash has been removed now, and we have the risk of explosion one on there. So there is differences on the tanks as well. There is many differences on the Loco that it's always good to look out for. Like look, as well, look, different sizes of warning flashes on this side. There is differences. Buffers as well. Look, buffers. We've gone back to them style of buffers, which there is multiple differences on all of these versions of 007. So it's interesting. We've got all kinds of stuff to look out for. Okay, so the next version is 2024, which has been a little bit cleaned up. It hasn't got the streaking anymore on it, so it's been cleaned up a little bit. Again, we've still got obviously the smaller warning flashes, and yeah, it's basically a cleaned up version of the 2023 one. But this time as well, we actually have the battery acid sticker added to the fuel tank on this side, which obviously differentiates it compared to the 2023 version. So the 2024 version does have its differences. So it's not just a cleaned up 2023 version. And yeah, it's just, again, it's brilliant to see all of this stuff, just looked at and done. See the yellow panel as well is slightly different on the 2024 version opposed to the 2023 version. There's different colours in the means of the yellow panels. So now that we've had a look at the 2024 version, we now look at the present day 2025 version. So this is as it is now. This is 20.007 today. And yeah, basically, again, it's I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the 2025 version has an LED light on the front, but the 2024 version doesn't. I believe this is the one where it has an LED light on the front here instead of the halogen bulbs. But we'll have a test of that when we unpause the game. But yeah, so this is the 2025 edition of the Loco. Yeah, that flash needs sorting. But yeah, there we have it, guys. So that is all of the livery variations that you get with the 20.007 Enhancement Pack. But that's not all, because we've got something else that's very special. So we're going to unpause the game. I'm going to click on one of the Locos. As you can see, it's got a service approaching. We're just going to close all those. And I'm going to take you inside the cab. So, you're going to be amazed. Be prepared to be amazed at this. I mean, just look at this. So this is a fully 4K enhanced cab interior. So we now have scuff marks, scrapes and scratches all around the controls. A fully brand new reskinned cab interior. Now this was something that was jaw-dropping for me. I can remember saying, well, the first thing I said to Will and Ludge when I looked at this was, what the F, basically. That was my first sentence, because I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. This has never been done before. I mean, not to this degree anyway. We have reskinned a cab before, and that was on the BR Early Blue Class 27 reskin, which is a fictional reskin. Will had a go at reskinning the cab interior to cream, but it hasn't been done to this scale. It hasn't been upscaled to 4K and added all these fancy textures. But yeah, it is really, really cool in here. We've got all of the the griminess around the windows. We've got the scrapes and scratches on the door handles. The best way of seeing the door handle is from this angle here. You can see it there, look. This is the nose end desk. We've got... It's just phenomenal, seeing all this. So bear in mind that these gauge textures here, so these are the original Just Trains Class 20 gauge textures, but just upscaled. And if you compare this to the standard default Just Trains cab textures, you'll see a massive difference. So these are actually really clear and crisp, but obviously in the original JT one it was a lot more, well, blurry. So you can actually read the gauges properly and everything now, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, all of the, everything's been upscaled. Everything looks crisp. It looks clear. We can read everything. You know, forward, engine only, reverse, off. You know, everything is clear as a bell. We can see everything. You know, it's transformed the cab. It's made it, more to modern day standards, as it were. So there we have it. We've even got obviously the maquette on the seats as well. You know, the typical BR maquette on the seats, which is just, brilliant. So there we have it, folks. So that is the Class 20 cab for 007. And also another thing is, if we head over to the nose side and look round, we'll see the actual, we can actually see the proper texture on the nose as well. So you can actually see the reskin from the cab. It's not just blue or green, It's actually, made it so we can actually look out and see the right colour of livery within the cab. And if we head over to the Lorem version of 20007 and go into the cab, you'll see that we can actually see the Lorem sticker from inside the cab. So, it's been made so that we can see, what we need to see from the nose end cab. So heading back over to the 2017-2018 version, we're going to have a mess around with the lights. So the lighting features are fully operatable by the user. So if we press Control K, you'll notice that it will turn on the left hand tail light. If we press Shift K, it will turn on the right hand tail light, and this is for obviously the cab end. So with Shift K turns off the right hand side, and then Control K will turn off the left hand side. Okay, to operate the markers, it is and this is on the cab end, it's Control 1, 2 and 3, and as you can see, it operates the standard marker lights, and then H operates your headlight. So we now have the halogen headlight, all sort of, the incandescent headlight all lit up as it should be. Okay, right, so we'll turn all those off. Another thing we have is scripted headboards, and we can operate these on F8 and F7. So if we press F8, it will start scrolling through the head code or headboards on the left hand bracket, the top left hand bracket. So we've got UK Rail Tours, we've got Pathfinder, we've got SLC Operations, we've got Lorem, and we've got Martin House. And this, if we press F8 again, it will scroll down to the bottom, so it will place Lorem Rail Operations on the bottom. Press F8 again, it will put it over to the other side. F8 again, it will then start off with the sort of right hand side lamp bracket, top lamp bracket, and we'll start to scroll through all of the headboards again, like we did the first time. And then we can place SLC Operations at the bottom, and SLC Operations at the bottom over that side. And that is all of your headboard positionings. When pressing F7 now, it scrolls it back to where it was before. Okay. Now, the nose end is slightly different. Okay, so with the nose end, the tail lights are operated on Control J and Shift J, which operates the tail lights. Shift J operates the right hand side one, and Control J operates the left hand side tail light. Okay. For the markers on this side is Control 4, 5 and 6. So we've got Control 4, 5 and 6. There we go. And then the headlight is basically on H, but you have to hold H down to move the headlight to the rear, like so. So there we go. Headlight is now lit. See it there, all lit up as well. So with the headboards on this end, it is done by, I believe, Shift F8. There we go. So we've got UK Rail Tours on the top lamp bracket, and it pretty much does the same as the other side. Oh, my bad, Adam. Yes, we'll just look at some of these textures. I mean, just oh Christ, my bad. Yeah, so that's the UK Rail Tours headboard, and then we'll just shift that out again. Pathfinder. You can see, you know, that it's got markings on there. You know, it looks nice and crisp, and we can see it well modelled there in 3D. There we go, SLC operations. I really like that one because you can see sort of the berth, you know, sort of that sort of the welding. It looks really good. Got Lorem rail operations, and then obviously the Martin House. And then, like the other end, you can scroll through and put it on the other lamp brackets as well. It has a scrolling motion, so it's not necessarily operatable in the sense that you can place multiple headboards on every lamp bracket at the same time. It's just a scrolling motion on this, and it's mainly due to the fact of photos. So obviously Lewis and Will have judged it by photos and placed it on the specific lamp brackets of where 007 has worn them particular headboards. So it's all done via photos. Right, so we're going to press Control 4, 5 and 6 again to turn the markers off, and then we'll turn the headlight off as well. So there we go, that is the 2018 version of 007. So we head over to the 2019 version. Again, it's all exactly the same. Control 1, 2 and 3 operates your markers. H operates your headlight, and then Control K and Shift J operates your tails on your cab end. And then for the nose, obviously hold down H to turn your headlight on. Control 4, 5 and 6 to operate your markers, and then it's Shift J and Control J to operate your tails. And your headboards also work on every single version as well. Okay, so we're going to head over to the 2025 version of the Loco. So if we press H on this, you'll see that we've got a, I mean, it's quite hard to see in this lighting, but that headlight is white. Okay, so that's to indicate that it is an LED. If we head over to this one and press H, okay, that is also white. 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 Ah, there we go. So you can see here that this is sort of more of an orangey glow on the 2023 version. But as we get to the 2022 version, it is just pure white. So that is when they replaced the incandescent headlight or halogen headlight to, you know, the halogen bulb to an LED. However, interestingly, so obviously H at the moment, if we press H again, it moves it over to the nose. Interestingly, the nose end light has always been the bulb. They have not changed it out. It's always been the bulb style. So it is still that orange sort of glow. The only one that has been replaced is obviously the cab end to the LED. So there we go. That is kind of all of the features that is included with the 2007 Enhancement Pack for Train Simulator Classic. So the requirements for this requires the Just Trains Class 20 Advanced Pack from Just Trains, obviously, and it also requires the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 20 Sound Pack Pro, which is now discontinued. It's potentially optional. I'm not 100% certain that it works without the sound pack. It is recommended to have the sound pack installed to get the very best out of it. But I am fairly certain that this may work without it, you know, because it's all the sounds for the Just Trains default 20 are all mapped pretty much the same as the AP sounds are, so it should work without the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack. I mean, it was proven on the 2118 and 2132 reskin pack, so if it works on that, then it potentially could also work on this. So it's up to you guys whether you want to test that. I'm fairly certain that it will work without it. That's why the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack is optional within the manual. If I'm wrong about this, please do let me know, and I will update the manual so it is a essential requirement. But as far as I know, and from what I've been told anyway, it shouldn't be essential. It shouldn't be essential. But there we go then, folks. So that is what is included with the 20007 enhancement pack. So I think now what we're going to be doing is we're going to take one of them out for a drive and obviously see how it operates and enjoy a little runner down the route for the last few, moments of the video. So I'll see you guys over at a route. I'll just think on which one I'll use and I'll see you guys in a minute. So goodbye for now. Okay guys, so we are now loaded up on the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway route by Steam Sound Supreme and Vulcan Productions. And here we are with the present day version of 20007, considering that this is probably the one that most people will want to see. So yeah, so this is 007 as of 2025. If you're watching this video from the future, from like 2026 onwards, and it has changed since then, I do apologise. This pack is based on it from the 2017 to 2025 years. So it's tough. So yeah, here we are on the Keighley and Worth Valley route. And we have 37508 just behind, which is another reskin by us at British Locomotive Studios. Funnily enough, done by the two same developers, Will Braddock and Lewis Brown. So you can see here we've got a Gen 3 headlight on there and a couple of other bits and pieces on there. It's a very nice reskin. I recommend picking it up. I shall also link that in the description of the video if you want to go and take a look at it. We have some Mark 1 coaches, which is the AP ones. Obviously, the sounds of the 20 cannot be heard from the window hand camera, which is a shame. But that's the AP sounds for you. It would work if it was just using the standard JT sounds. So we'll get our lights set up. So we'll press Control 1 and 2 for the markers, and then H for the headlight. So we've now got the headlight on there. And we're all pretty much ready to go. So we'll hop in the cab and get set up, make sure our points are set, which they're not at the minute. Well, that's actually the rear. What? Let's center the player actually. There we are. Just heading into the siding now. We don't want to head into the siding, we want to... What's going on here then? Oh, we're going in this direction. I was looking in the wrong direction. Okay, so we have got the road. So yeah, we'll set up the AWS. Get that all sorted. Put the key in. Put ourselves into engine only. We'll release the train brake and place the loco brake on. Another thing is you can actually still use these. Obviously the cab. We're moving slightly. Should probably put the train brake on slightly then. You can use these, but it's recommended not. So say like for example you place your tail lights on. It has the standard Just Trains tail light textures, but the issue with those is you'll see they're actually floating outwards to the yeah, we're actually rolling back slightly. I think that's a TS thing though. You'll see that it's actually not sort of attached to the lens of the tail light. So if we just turn those off, that's the wrong one. But if we place the keyboard control ones on, so that is Control K and Shift K, you'll see that the objects are actually, rounded to the shape of the tail lights. So that again is another good feature and something that differentiates this compared to the default Just Trains tail light texturing. Just thought I'll show that off before we leave. Yeah, we'll put our instrument lights on, which are done by that. So there we are, we now have our instrument lights on. We'll put ourselves into forward, put 2 on the horn. Add a bit of power, and release the loco brake. So this is quite a heavy load because we've got the 37 dead in tow, so we're going to have to give it some to get out of here. I haven't driven on the Keighley-Murph Valley Railway very much, so I do apologise if my driving is a little bit rusty on this. It does look nice rounding around that curve, the classic Keighley curve. So this is based on the Diesel Gala consist. It can actually open up now, so we'll give it some. It's actually good having the 37 dead in tow because you can really thrash it. Yeah, just look at these cab textures, are brilliant, aren't they? Obviously windscreen wipers work, and you can park it in any place you like. It's a shame we don't have opening and closing doors on this model, or opening and closing windows, but hey ho. Oh, I do love playing with the throttle. The AP sounds are the way to go with this. Here we are approaching Ingro West. So we're going to have to be in the tunnel of this one. Be able to see the headlight glare in action as we go in. He says. It's very dim, but it is there. We are stopped in the correct spot, which is good. There's a whole train in the station. Okay, I can't see because we're in the tunnel, but yeah. Yeah, the glare is there. You can see the track lights up ever so slightly. Not the best headlight in the world, but then that's the 20 headlight for you. You know, they are very dim in real life, so fair play. Right, let's get moving. Sounds brilliant, doesn't it? Sounds brilliant, looks brilliant. No, we've got the green, so we're okay. Oh, my lords! That is hellfire. Bang on. Well, rear coach is out. To be honest, I should put the rear coach in the platform because it's guard's compartment, but I didn't think of that. Oh well. Yeah, this is Oakworth, which is obviously, for those who don't know, this is the location that they filmed the Railway Children at. I'm sure pretty much everybody knows that bit of information now, but if you didn't, in case you didn't, there's a bit of gen for you. So if you go to the Keith Linworth Alley, visit Oakworth. There we are. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am right now. Like, seriously. Hellfire. Ah, oh, just out, just short. Oh, that's annoying. Let's do a class 37 lean out camera, shall we? Hey. Oh, wheel slip. First time I had that in a while. totally not doing gala driving right now. I'm purposely making it slow down so we can just wang it open again. Nah, totally not doing that. Not at all. And I'll just lower the throttle in a second. And there we have it. End of the line. Which is, I mean, to be fair, I've overshot slightly, but just ignore that for now. I actually can't remember the station name. That's it, Oxenhope. Yeah, so probably could have stopped, you know, a little bit earlier, but nevertheless, at least we're here. And there we have it, guys. So that is basically the 20007 Enhancement Pack for Train Simulator Classic, brought to you by British Locomotive Studios. I hope you're excited about this and you're looking forward to giving it a go. So without, you know, saying goodbye and all that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you a montage of clips to end off this video. So, see you guys soon.